Are you working hard for me today, as always? Please keep working as hard as you can for me.
What is it with you? You should be working too, you know.
Well, I'm doing the best I can. I'm just frustrated that I can't find a good job.
This is no time to be discouraged. If you don't have time for that, then at least do something like get some information, talk to your friends, improve your skills, and so on.
By the way, you said you're going to stay up all night sometime, right? When was that all-nighter again?
It's today. I told you in the morning and you forgot?
Oh, okay.
What? Why are you asking?
I've been thinking about something.
What? What are you thinking about?
I can't tell you that yet. I want it to be a surprise.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Why?
Because your surprises have never been good.
Don't be ridiculous.
When you gave me flowers for my birthday, they were more than half dead. When you bought me a Christmas cake, the cake was all messed up in a box. When you told me you made a reservation for dinner, I went to the restaurant, only to find that it was closed. All these surprises came from you, right?
Everything was prepared by my mom. It wasn't something I did on my own.
That's the problem.
Huh?
All your surprises involved your mother.
Not everything.
Oh, that's right. Your last surprise was, I've been laid off from work, wasn't it?
You don't have to mention that.
I didn't mean to bring it up, but when you say surprise, I don't have a good feeling about it. To be honest, I'm still worried and nervous. You don't have to keep it secret, so I want you to tell me now. It would be less of a shock.
Why are you like that? Don't you believe me?
I want to believe you, but as for the surprise, I don't believe you.
You're a terrible wife. A husband who can't be trusted is as pathetic as it gets.
So, what's the surprise?
You know, I'm actually thinking of inviting my parents to come live with us in this house.
What? Without consulting me?
You work all night sometimes, so it would be great to have my mom here, don't you think? My mom has been a housewife longer than you. I'm sure she'll be a great help to us.
What are you talking about? I'm doing just fine on my own.
Besides, my parents love our house. If they want to move in with us, how could I say no? I'm the eldest son, and they want to take care of me.
I understand their feelings, but how could you decide such thing without even telling me about it? I live in this house with you. Don't you think you should have asked me first?
I'm the eldest son. I wanted to do it sooner or later.
Then why didn't you say so earlier? I've never heard you talk about it. I'm so dumbfounded. Don't just decide something like that on your own. Anyway, let's discuss it between the two of us.
What? We don't have time for that.
Why?
Because my parents are coming tomorrow.
Huh? What's that?
It looks like they've already sent out the luggage. Even if the luggage will take a little longer, my parents will arrive the same day if they drive fast enough. It's been a while since you lived with your parents, right? It must feel fresh, like you're a kid again, just a little bit.
No, I don't understand. I wanted to marry you and live with you. I don't want to live with your parents. I'm not looking for being a kid again or anything. Don't just decide everything based on your imagination. I have no idea what you're thinking. I can't have your parents to come and live with us.
Why do you reject my parents so much?
I'm not rejecting them. I'm saying it's impossible for us to live together.
You're my wife, right? Are you saying you can't follow what I decide? Besides, this is my house, so I can make my own decisions.
Wait a minute. I bought that house, remember? I'm working all night like I'm going to today, desperately trying to make the payments. I'm paying not only for the house, but all the living expenses, right? Don't think you own the house all by yourself.
Huh? My house is my house. I'm your husband, so of course it's my house. It's easy for you to work so hard on your own. Anyway, my parents are coming to live with us tomorrow.
Our finances are just enough for both of us. How are you going to make ends meet? The cost of living for 4 adults is going to be much higher, you know. How are we going to pay for that?
My parents said they'd pay a little bit of living expenses, so we'll manage, won't we?
How much is a little? Do you really think a little will cover the needs of 4 adults?
I don't know. I'm leaving it up to you to take care of the finances. But my parents are offering to pay for some. So we should take it, don't you think?
Do your parents know that you're unemployed? Are they really going to move in with us knowing that you're not working?
No, I don't think they know. I didn't tell them anything.
Why didn't you tell them the most important thing? Since I bought the house, you haven't even worked for long. And when you do work, it doesn't last. It's been a year since you quit your last job. Shouldn't you be looking for a job first? You'll have to wait until your job is secure and you're earning money before you think about having your parents moving in. Don't you think those are the right steps to do?
Why are you always bringing that up?
What do you mean, always? Isn't that the most important thing to make a living?
I will work, and you don't have to keep telling me. I'm even job hunting right now. I just haven't found a famous company that I want to work for. When I get a new job at a famous company, I can make your life easier. So for now, I want you to work hard even if you have to stay up all night.
I'm tired of hearing you say that. Soon I'll get an offer from a famous company. Soon I'll be earning a lot of money. How many times have I heard those words? But I don't see you getting another job anytime soon. I don't like staying up all night either. I work at night because I can make more money. You don't understand anything.
I'm telling you, I'll find a job soon. I'm going to get a job at a famous company, and my parents are going to live with us, and your life will be easier too.
How can you say that when you're living out of my income?
Huh? You've been talking so much for a while. You're the one who takes care of all the finances, right? Isn't it your job to make ends meet with the money you have? Don't complain all the time.
Huh? You disgust me. I'm doing it because you can't take care of money. And yet you quit your job like that and staying home doing nothing at all. And on top of that, you let your parents to move in and live with us without consulting me. That's enough. I'm not a handyman.
No one said anything about that. It's natural for a wife to help her husband when he's in trouble, isn't it? There are many wives who manage the household finances. There are plenty of wives who live with their in-laws. So why is it that I'm the only one who gets treated so badly? I'm the one who stays at home and protects the house all the time. Isn't that enough?
Protecting the house? You don't even work. You just sit around at home all day. You buy whatever you want with the money I earn, and you don't do any work. How can you say that? In addition to taking care of you, You want me to take care of your parents? To be honest, I can't do it.
How can you say such a terrible thing? They're my parents. They are your family too, you know. Don't you want to take care of them as they get older?
Of course, if you could work and we live a normal life, I would have thought about that. But you didn't, did you? Your parents would be shocked to know that you don't work and live off your wife's income. Anyway, you should get a job before you call your parents. Maybe you should think about inviting them over after you get a job. I feel bad for your parents.
But it's already decided. My parents are coming over tomorrow. Let's just accept the reality and think about living happily.
You really don't want to reconsider, do you?
I told you my parents will be here tomorrow. Can't you understand that? I thought you'd be happy to hear about it. I can't believe you.
You decided inviting your parents to come and live with us all by yourself. It can't be a surprise for me.
Well, no matter what you say, we're going to start living with my parents. I hope you can make it work.
Since then, I've been thinking about the idea of living with your parents.
You're finally ready to do it? I knew it. I knew you would come through.
No, I think it's impossible. I want you to tell them to go back to their house. It's not too late, is it?
Are you serious? My parents are so happy. I can't disappoint them.
No, I think they'd be more disappointed to know you're unemployed.
That's not true. They're looking forward to live with me. They like my house more than anything. I'm sure they'll enjoy it in their own way.
No, absolutely not.
Why are you being so stubborn about this? My parents are willing to pay for some living expenses. Our life is definitely going to be better than now.
Huh? A married man who gets his parents to pay for his living expenses? Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
I'm not ashamed. They're my parents. What's wrong with getting an allowance from your parents?
You haven't worked in over a year and you're being lazy, even though I've worked hard all night long. You should be ashamed to ask your parents for living expenses.
You're really not letting this go, aren't you? You're my wife, so be a grown-up and do as I say. That's the duty of a wife.
How can I fulfill such an unreasonable duty?
Huh?
I will no longer be your wife.
What are you saying?
It means I don't want to live with you any longer. So I will not live with your parents either. I'm divorcing you.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Of course. I've been thinking about it ever since I got your text earlier today. I haven't been able to get any work done because of it.
Don't even joke about it.
I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I don't want to have to work so hard to take care of you and your parents.
Hey, my parents are coming tomorrow. What are you thinking to divorce me at a time like this? Don't be selfish.
You're the one who's being selfish. You called your parents without consulting me. You're trying to get an allowance from them without even working. I'm going to have to work even harder than I already am. You've got to be kidding me.
Wait a minute. I'm not getting a divorce. We could have a nice life together as a family.
And I'm saying we're not. I can see I'll be up all night and not be able to come home. But if you still want to live with them, leave that house and enjoy living with your parents.
Why? I told you my parents like this house. It doesn't make sense for me to leave here and live with them.
I know something.
Know what?
That your parents are addicted to gambling. That they are living in debt. That debt keeps growing and they couldn't afford the rent. So they want to move in with us to save money on rent and living expenses, right?
Why? How do you know that?
You people must be out of your mind. The house is in my name and I bought it. I won't let you and your parents have it. I'm divorcing you, so get out of the house.
Don't be so cold. Are you abandoning me knowing that I'm out of a job?
Exactly. You keep saying that, but do you know how long you've been out of work? It's been a year.
That's because I'm trying to get a job at a famous company.
You keep saying that. But when you saw me working so hard, even pulling all-nighters, didn't you feel anything? If you really care about me, shouldn't you start any kind of job right away and make money? But instead, you just lie around at home day after day and don't do a single chore.
I'm sorry about that.
How much more do I have to keep working like this? And I also know that when you ran out of money, you secretly withdrew money from my account.
What? You knew about this?
Of course I knew. You're home every day, and what were you spending it on?
Well, my parents asked me to lend them money and I just...
What? You were giving your parents money I earned? I'm shocked.
I can't just stand by and watch my parents in trouble, can I?
Why don't you work? I can understand if you were to give them money you earned yourself. But you were secretly withdrawing money from my account. That's theft.
How could that be? You and I are married, so how can it be theft?
Whatever the reason, I'll make sure I get that money back. I worked so hard to save that money.
We're a married couple, so there's no need to ask to pay back. We share the same account.
I told you, I'm not living with you anymore. I'm single from today.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Actually, after the daytime text, I went to the city hall and filed divorce papers.
Huh? You can't just submit the divorce papers on your own without me filling it out.
You did fill them out.
Huh?
Have you even forgotten about it? When you quit your previous job, you said you needed something to pressure yourself, and you filled out the divorce papers.
What? Did I?
You've already quit your job so many times, and I put conditions on you, didn't I? If you don't get a job within a year, I'll divorce you.
What?
You filled out the divorce papers instead of the vows, remember? I kept it with me the whole time. Even if you hadn't called your parents, I would have divorced you. Because you never showed any sign of trying to get a job. And I don't want to live with a man who doesn't keep his word even after filling out divorce papers.
Oh no.
So I will now charge you exactly what you spent my savings for. The security camera at the bank ATM clearly shows you withdrawing money. I'll use that as evidence.
Are you serious? I can't believe it.
You quit your job and goofed around for a year. And even more, you allowed your parents to move into the house I bought without telling me. I want you out of that house by the end of my night shift.
Wait a minute. Don't be unreasonable. My parents are coming tomorrow. There's no way I can leave.
I don't care about that. You and I are strangers now, and there's no reason for me to help you out. And moreover, there's no need to help my ex-husband's parents.
That's too much, isn't it? Why do I have to leave?
Because it's my house. Since we're divorced, you're the one who has to leave.
You're really a terrible person. What about my parents who are coming tomorrow looking forward to living in this house?
I told you I don't care. We're divorced, so I'm a stranger to you and your parents. Why should I have anything to do with them?
That's too much. You divorced me without consulting me.
You decided to bring your parents without asking me. You said it was a surprise or something incomprehensible. You were going to put it all on me, weren't you? And you withdrew money from my account.
I thought it was okay because we're a couple.
That's just an excuse. The point is, you wanted to make your life easier, didn't you? You wanted me to work hard for you.
No, I didn't. That's not true. I wanted to live with you.
You say that so often. If you had valued our life together, you wouldn't have quit your job on your own. You wouldn't have called your parents without even asking me first. That's just a lame excuse.
Why do you say that? So you don't want them to be here? Then I'll send them away.
What? Then they don't have a place to live either. Where would you send them away to? You're a much worse person than they are.
Please, Mary, just help me. Let me live in this house.
I don't want to. We're already divorced, so if you stay in the house any longer, I'll sue you for trespassing.
Oh no.
You're going to be busy.
What?
You have your parents to take care of, don't you? They're looking forward to living with you. You have to take good care of them.
I can't do it alone.
You need to find a place to live. You need to start working quickly. I don't think you have time to be talking about famous companies.
Oh no. I'm going to join a famous company and make plenty of money. So I won't compromise.
Is this really the time to be saying that? You need a lot of money to rent an apartment or a condo. I think you need to start working on it right away. You've had plenty of rest for that. Get your stuff together fast. Leave that house by the time I get back from the night shift.
I can't do that all of a sudden.
You told me that your parents are coming tomorrow all of a sudden too. Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, but they're gone, aren't they? At least give me a week.
Don't be silly. You know how long I've been waiting? But you didn't care about my feelings. I've run out of patience.
I'm sorry, Mary. I'm sorry. Please, forgive me. I'll get a job right away, and I'll work diligently. Can't you consider living with me again?
I've told you, I've run out of patience. If you have time for excuses, why don't you start packing your bags? If you haven't left by the time I get back, you're trespassing.
Please, I'm begging you, Mary.
After that, my ex-husband was kicked out of the house and joined his parents. When I told them the reason, they said, "What do you mean? That's not what you told us." And they blamed David. They had nowhere else to go, so they had no choice but to return to his father's parents' home. But because of the reason, they were not welcomed by anyone. One of the relatives took pity on them and lent them a barn. Now they are living together in a barn with no bathroom. And each of them is working part-time jobs to save money. If David is working part-time, he must not have been able to find a job at a famous company after all. Presumably because he had to move from one job to another and had 1 year of doing nothing. I think that his reputation is bad because he had to move from one job to another and had been unemployed for a year. Even if I were an employer, I would never hire someone like him. I am enjoying a comfortable single life in my own house. Now that I make enough money to live on, I have a lot more time on my hands. I'm thinking of taking up some lessons.